Hey guys, welcome back. We're on site talking about coping crown molding. Now, the advantage of coping crown molding is that if your walls are say 89 degrees or 91 degrees, it allows for a little bit of wiggle room so that when you tie the two together, even if it's a little bit off, you're able to get a tight joint. In this video, I'm going to show you three different methods. The first two are a little more common. Maybe you've seen them on YouTube before. The third one is the method that I use today. I think it's the most precise. I have the most control over it. Gives me the nicest joints. So hopefully you'll stick around and check it out. All right, guys, so quick note. I'm assuming for this video that you've already measured and cut your crown molding. We have one straight piece on one side and then a mitered piece on the other. I cut it at 45 degrees in the nested position. If you don't know how to do that, I'm working on a video now that'll teach you how to build a jig and cut your crown molding in the nested position. You could also cut it in the flat position. I'll also be discussing that. I'll leave a link on the screen for that video. So the first method I'm going to show you is going to be using a traditional coping saw and some files and sandpaper just to clean up the cut. Now, it's not important with a painted piece, but if your wood, say, was stained, so this is not going to be painted white, you could take a pencil, any kind of pencil, and just make a mark right along that edge. And what that does is it gives you a nice defining line so that you can see that's exactly where you want to go up to and not go past it. So now I'm going to take my coping saw, I'm going to hold it at a nice shallow angle, because if I go too steep of an angle, too close to vertical, I may not be cutting off enough material so that the piece that slides into it will have room for it to fit. Now what I do at this corner, because it's nearly impossible to save this corner, and since this is going to be a painted molding, I'm going to take off that one little bit of corner and I'm going to cut it straight, just at that one spot. That little point gets cut off. I've tried to save it in the past, but sometimes, more often than not, it ends up breaking off, so you're better off just cutting it. Again, a shallow angle. Now that my initial cope is done, I'm going to take a file. This one's, you could use any type of file. Often I like these round files work really, really well. Kind of just clean it up. Again, I'm doing a slight angle. Use a straight file. A little bit of sandpaper to clean it up. It's time for a test fit. So it's close, but I can see I need to take a little bit off the back. So let me get you in close and show you what I mean. So it's good to check periodically while you're cutting at an angle. So what I like to do is I like to stand over it straight, and then I bend down a little bit, and you start to see what appears. And you see a little bit of wood is appearing right here, a little bit right here, and a little bit right here. Those are the spots that have to get shaved back in order to make sure that it fits. Now that's a much better fit. So a second method I'm going to show you requires some additional tools. It's a little bit more advanced, takes a little bit more practice, but if you're really good at it and you practice it a lot, you can cope crown molding a lot faster. What I'm referring to is a jigsaw with a Collins coping foot. I'll leave a link down in the description if you guys are interested in checking it out. Basically, it's just an attachment. Now, I wouldn't typically use a jigsaw of this style and shape. A barrel grip jigsaw is significantly better for something like this. You have better control. But this is what I have with me now, so I'm going to show it to you using this with the Collins coping foot attachment. Let me show you how that works.
So just like with the regular coping saw, you're going to cut it at a little bit of an angle to make sure you cut out enough of the material in the back. Now this takes some practice. You're going to have to take it slow. You try it out on a few pieces, because this definitely takes some getting used to. There's a learning curve here. You're going to hold that metal coping foot up against the back of the molding so that you have something to help you guide along the cut. Then you're going to use files and sandpaper, just like the first method, and then give it a test fit.
So the third method I'm going to show you is my personal favorite. I start with a standard coping saw to cut out the bulk of the material. Then I switch to a Dremel with a special shaping bit on it. It's a carbide bit. I use this to basically carve around the profile of the material. I'm able to take out a lot of material very, very easily without much effort and very precisely. It takes some practice, but it works really well. Let me show you how it works.
So it starts with just using the coping saw and carving out the bulk of the material. I don't have to be too precise with it, I just want to take out a chunk of material. Then I switch to the Dremel, and I very, very slowly and carefully, with my left hand thumb on the neck of the Dremel to help balance it, gives me great control. Then I work my way around, and I shave the right up to the line, and then I work on carving out the back of it to make sure I get out enough material.
I want to show you a close-up of this so you can see this is the best fit of the three methods. That's partly because it's the one I practice the most, but also because I think you have the best control once you learn how to do this method to be able to get a nice tight joint. So the last thing I'm going to do is a little bit controversial. I'm going to sand it back and open up the joint a little bit. Even though the joint may look perfectly tight, I'm going to be caulking this joint. And if I have it perfectly tight and I try and get it to caulk, there's no room for the caulk to fit. So instead, I'm going to sand it back at a little bit of an angle the other direction. Now when I go to caulk it, there's a little bit of an area that the caulk has a better chance of sticking. Therefore, it's less likely to crack. Alright guys, so thanks for watching. Hopefully you got something out of this video. Let me know down in the comments. Do you like these shorter videos? Do you prefer it to be quick to the point about one topic, maybe teach you a little something? Or do you like the longer how to do molding type videos? Let me know down in the comments so I can make sure to make content that you guys like. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and hopefully I'll see you on the next one.